Good morning and happy Monday. A great way to start the week in the market today, and I got good news. Last week was slow, but this week is looking like it's shaping up into an awesome week. So let's go ahead and dive into the recap. Every trade I took, every trade I did well on, every trade I did bad on. Let's go ahead and dive into it, talk through it all. That way you can do it too going into tomorrow. Pretty good day today. We saw some good stuff out there. We got a couple stocks up huge like BQ, YCBD, MSS, POAI. Just a lot happening. Now, I'm going to start back and we'll go over these trades here in a second. Go back to pre-market. Now, back in pre-market, we did have POAI. This thing gapped up 400% in minutes. It was absurd. This thing gaps up from 96 to $4.50 in just a couple seconds. It's just wild. Way to play it, though. There was no simple 1 minute pullback whatsoever. But let's go ahead and dive into it, though. Looking over at JFB to start. We'll come back and go through the whole list here. But to sum it all up today, I am green on JFB, DWTX, Zura, RDHL, and YCBD. I'm only red on POAI. We'll talk about that. It was a great setup. Just didn't get any proper resolution. But let's go and dive into this. Now, as you know, my most profitable setups are stocks that put in place a range. Those are the stocks I perform best with. Stock like this that they'll make this big initial rally, pull back and put in place a bottom like this. See how it reverses off the low here after pulling back. It maintains at least half of its move. That's key. You want it to maintain at least 50% of that move. Again, it pulls back, puts in place a bottom here to confirm. Now this becomes an area of demand. All right, this becomes an area of demand. Beautiful handwriting, I know. Give me a like for that. Then price pulls back out of this past area, form demand. You take your entry. Well, don't look at my drawing here. I don't know. Talk about bad luck. And we get a double bottom formed here off the higher low. That's my entry right there. We get a double bottom formed. It's buyers come back in again off this confirmed area of demand. And I get a move here back up into the previous high up towards VWAP. And so I get this from 1150 back to 1220 on about 1,000 shares. Breaking the ice a little bit here. Good. And so then price sort of pivots off the high here. I try to take a re-entry. Pretty much break even. You can see I took it here at 1220. Got some trims at 1230. Sold full at 1210. So like, all right, break even here. Just don't really love price action. So I cut it. But this was pretty good. We had the simple pivot here. Look for the pullback off moving averages. Again, you have your initial move. It pulls back, puts in place a bottom, pulls back again. That's the entry. Boom. Take that shot and run with it. So that was good there. Going back to market open, though, on DWTX was fantastic. This thing was nice, and again, put in place a perfect range at a market open. This thing could not have been any better, where this thing was pretty active in pre-market. Of course, gave back a good chunk of its move, but then we pull back and capitulate off the lows, put in place this bottom, and we start to reverse back to the upside. And so I take it here on the break of moving averages, risking off this low, and I get a massive move here back to VWAP. This could not have been any better, and I play it 3 times for profit, too. So this thing was amazing. I take it here from 830s all the way to $9 a share. Absolutely knocked this thing out. Knocked it out of the park. And then very similar to JFB, guess what? We know that we have buyers here because of the big move to the upside. Well, it pulls back again off the same range, right off the moving averages. Confirms a buyer. I get back in and play it again here from 860 all the way back to 898. And so again, I've got 2 wins here. I'm starting to build some momentum here. I'm starting to compound these profits. Again, price pulls back, still forming these higher lows. Oh, chart was flipped. Again, forming these higher lows. And so price pulls back again. I take a re-entry. Again, I get a move here up through VWAP here from 895 to 940. And so again, I'm sitting here for 3. I'm cooking. I'm rolling with it. I'm happy. Looking good. Again, this is the setup I look for, man. This is perfect. Setups like this are my biggest moneymaker of the market. If you're not playing setups like this, I don't know what you are doing because they're the best setups out there. Same with ZURA. Look, you'll see a pattern with all of these. It is my setup. This is my setup. Again, look at this. Big move to the upside. Pulls back, puts in place a bottom, finds a buyer, and starts to curl. Well, look. Puts in place a bottom here. Again, curls off this previous, curls off this then formed higher low to confirm. After confirming, took the entry, risking off this low. Nice move here. I get it from, you can see here, from 335 back to 350s. And so again, I'm cooking. These are my setups. Big move to the upside, maintains half of its move. Take it on confirmation off the bottom of its range. Get that break up to new highs. That is my setup. And so the big thing is you have to know in the market what your setup is. Otherwise, you don't know what you're doing. If you don't know your setup, how can you expect to be profitable? You have to have a setup that works best for you, and then you can scale from there. Now, RDHL was kind of tricky. You have a little pretty much break-even trade on this very small green. Took the break of trend to the upside here over the break of this high over 270. Little small win. And then POAI. Now, this was kind of gross. Now, I didn't have a lot of size on it. And if you're on the stream this morning, you played it with small size. I even got some size taken out to have even less size. Thankfully, I did. This thing halts up here. And it's already given back most of its move, but it halts up. And for that, I'm looking for the reclaim of VWAP here. On the resumption, it resumes. And you can see here, puts in place a bottom, puts in place a higher low, and I'm looking for this to get breaking to the upside. Of course, didn't get that. So took a loss on this here, and it was my one red ticker of the morning. Thankfully, had small size. But it's one of those where I really liked it. We reclaimed the moving averages, and I was looking for that continuation here to get that move back up through to VWAP. And it was a great looking setup. I'm not mad that I took this because I actually really enjoyed this. Got some slippage on the fill on the exit, but I really liked the setup. We had range back to VWAP. So you might be saying, well, you took it underneath VWAP because we had range back to VWAP for a reclaim. Now VWAP was here. No, I'm not going to take it. But we had range to VWAP. And so that was my room to the upside, which I liked. I liked the setup. I think it was a good setup. That halt, it resumed nice. Just liked it. Then we had YCBD. And again, I know my setups. I know what works for me. And so again, same story here. You have what? Big move to the upside, maintains at least half of its move, confirms a bottom here, confirms a higher low. I take the next pullback because now I know my defined risk is these previous higher lows. And I capture it here from what? 114 really. Back up to 128 for a beautiful play. Look at this. Does not get much easier. After we begin to hesitate off this high, take a full exit. And then I went sitting back and it put in this really odd channel here the rest of the morning, which I just wasn't really fond of. I like these tightening wedges. I like descending channels. I just don't like these ascending, widening channels. It typically is not something that I do great with. Looking back in hindsight, would I have liked it here? Maybe. I wouldn't have liked it here, but here, maybe. But all in all, I'm happy with it. I still have a nice win on this. You have a nice little play from 114 to 128. Again, I can't be too mad. It was a great trade. And so that's pretty much the recap of the morning. I'm looking forward to the rest of the week because things are looking great today. I've got the one red ticker today, so I can't be mad about that in the slightest. Definitely a great way to come into this week and kick it off on a good note after a very slow week last week. I'm looking forward to just continuing into the rest of the week, doing what we need to do to hopefully compound this stuff into an amazing week ahead. Got a lot of swings we're looking at now as well as things do hopefully get churning back in the right direction. Make sure if you did learn something from this video to hit that subscribe button, like it, share it if you need to share it with your friends if they're trying to learn how to trade as well. And of course, make sure to claim your 7-day free trial to watch me trade stocks just like these in real time every single day. Get my day trading alerts, wing watch list, education, chat room, everything else. So make sure to do that. Description down below, and I'll see you guys there.